everybody, welcome to day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas. I am Doreen from Door Designs, where we're going to do 12 days of fun-filled holiday designs. On day 1 yesterday, I did a swag, kind of a fun whimsical, and I want to show it to you just real quick because I made 1 or 2 changes after I did my video, and I wanted you guys to see it. On the video, when I added this pic of the holiday lights, one of the lights came up pretty high, and I really should have cut it off during the video because I knew I wasn't going to keep it. So I cut that piece off. I actually glued the light a little bit further down, or it might have been this one. But I went back and I added some ribbon loops to kind of fill in where it took that focal point off. Then I had a little bit of, I thought, kind of a dead space here. So I just took a piece of ribbon, and it was probably, I don't know, 18 inches long. Dovetailed the end of it, kind of looped it and pinched it in the middle there, and then brought it out. And I did one on this side and one on that side. And I think it really kind of brought the whole ribbon all the way from the top all the way down. And I like how it kind of made this a little bit fuller right there on top. So that is what it looked like, the finished look. So let me put that aside. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a flocked wreath. It's going to be on a 24-inch. I get them at Walmart. That's what it looks like. And I think they were like $12.68. It is a circle or round. I actually take it and push it in on the sides to make it become a little bit more oval. And I wanted it to be more oval than round because today we're going to be using this guy. So this is a tree topper. I got it off of Amazon. They're kind of hard to find, especially this late in the season. But if you go on Amazon or Etsy, type in snowman tree topper or snowman head, you can find all kinds of them, or at least you could. I will say some of them are getting pretty expensive. Some of them are going as like $75, $100. I don't think I paid that much for this one. But they are all razed ones, and we're going to do one more during the 12 days. But this one we're going to do, and we're going to play off all the candy canes. So our design is going to be basically red and white. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to add a little bit of mesh. This is the exact same mesh I used on yesterday's video. I got it at Hobby Lobby. And it's not a heavy-duty, high-quality mesh, but it's a good mesh. And what I'm going to use it for is mainly just to kind of as a filler, and then give me something to attach some of my picks and stuff to. So a lot of you ask me after the video how long I cut them. I cut them about 20 inches, and typically all I do, I just take my roll, put it on my table, and pull it up. And I pretty much know where 20 inches comes to. You can measure it if you want. I just typically don't take the time. Now, if I'm doing a mesh wreath where the mesh is going to show, I do measure it only because I don't want it to look lopsided or one side to be fuller than the other. But for this design, I'm not going to take the time. So I'm just going to cut some real quick here. And typically I would have had this already added to the wreath, but several of you don't like when I do that. You want to see the process. So I'm going to go ahead and just do it. And we're just going to roll the end under a little bit, and I'm going to gather it till I get to the end, roll that down, and pinch it. So that's all it looks like. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty, because we're just going to put that right inside. And like I said, I'm not going to use a lot. I'm just going to use enough to fill it in. I'm going to use my table here because it's much quicker. Now, if you wanted your mesh to show more in your design, I would probably cut my pieces about 30 inches long. And then you can put as much mesh in your design that you want. Also, while I'm doing that, check Walmart for tree topper heads too, because I've seen some cute ones at Walmart, although not at my Walmart, but I've seen people post them. I got a rustic one last year that I did a centerpiece in, and I think they have that one back in stock. And if you're out shopping for some ideas, if you see some little snowman heads, they don't have to be these, just some little snowman heads, we're going to be doing some candlesticks. Kind of make little centerpieces out of them. We're also going to be doing some gingy designs. I got some more ideas sent to me yesterday after the video, which are some great ideas. A couple of them are going to challenge me a little bit, which I love. So I'm going to have to go do a little bit of shopping to find some of the supplies I'll need for them. Okay, I'm going to need one more piece or two. And this, like I said, did come from Hobby Lobby. It was $9.99. I don't know if I paid $9.99 for it, but that's what the tag says. I doubt if I did. I like this red and white because it's a nice basic one to keep and use during the holiday season for your holiday designs. Actually, I'm going to put one more piece. I know a lot of you are going to ask about my shirt, because you always do. I made this shirt. I bought the shirt at Walmart, and then I put the design on it. And I did some little snowmen since we were designing snowmen today. Okay. So there's what it looks like. Just nice and full. Just kind of went around it. You could go around it another time and put more mesh on the inside if you want this, but since we're going to put that big snowman here, I'm not going to put anything there right now. I may go back and add, but I'm not right now. Okay, most of the time these snowmen have a base on them, and the base typically is pretty easy to do a hole punch or a ice pick. I use an ice pick and punch a hole through it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch 2 holes, one on each side, and then I'm going to zip tie the bottom of my snowman to my sides right here. Then I'm going to take in the back of the top hat, I'm going to punch a hole the same way with my ice pick through the top, out the side, and I'll zip tie the top of it up here. And you can use wire. You don't have to use zip ties. I'm a zip tie person, so I get these long zip ties. You can get zip ties anywhere. So let's go ahead and add him in. First of all, I'm going to push my greenery down so I've got a nice spot for my snowman to sit. And then we're just going to kind of snuggle him back in there. And see how he fills up basically that whole center. And by the time we put some picks and put our ribbon in, you won't really see any of those gaps if those gaps bother you. So let's get this guy going. So I just took my ice pick and pushed it right on through. And I kind of move it around a little bit to make the hole a little bit bigger so I can get my ice pick, or my, not my ice pick, my zip tie. And I just fed it right through. And let's do the same on the other side. I got a chuckle after reading the comments last night when I was talking about vertical and horizontal when I said it backwards. Several of you corrected me. Thank you very much. There we go. And there is both sides. Then we're going to take it to the top. And I just did the exact same thing. I took it through the top at an angle, and it's coming through the back. And like I said, you can use wire. I'm hoping this zip tie will. Oops. And there's the snowman with the zip tie coming out the back. And once we attach it, you don't have to do it super, super tight. You just want to make it tight enough, because if you pull too tight, it's going to pop right through the top hat. So let's get him attached. I'm going to lay him down. And I know you can't see it, and I'll show you that when I get done. But if I don't, he'll just keep falling forward. All I'm doing is taking my zip tie and going through the base of the wreath. You got the bottom down here. And let's get the top. And I know I use kind of the long zip ties. I do that just because it makes it easier in my hands to grab it. Some people ask me why I buy such big ones. I use the smaller ones on a lot of my designs, but when I'm attaching, for me personally, it's easier. And I'm all about easier. Okay. I'm going to cut all those off now. And our snowman's attached, and he is not going anywhere. Okay, let me get that put up real quick. Okay, from here on out, when designing stuff that is this big, you can add whatever you want to add and as much as you want to add. There are some people who love their designs over the top and they put it filled all the way around. There are others who don't like it quite as heavy, like you may want to see some of the flock and of the mesh, and that's okay too. So this is where you really just design it to where you want it. So I'm going to kind of go in between, not too much over the top. Yesterday's I filled it real full. This one I may not fill quite as full, just so you can kind of see some of the difference. So let's get this going. I'm going to add a little bit, you're going to think I'm crazy, of flocking evergreen, but I want to give it, I don't want it to look just with the one evergreen. I want it to have some different things, but I want to keep this kind of in a flocked, wintry, snowy design and pop it with our ribbons and our candy, because we're going to use lots of candies in the design. So I'm going to cut some of this down. You can get this flocking anywhere. This did come from one of my wholesalers, but I'm sure you can find it at Hobby Lobby. Hope you guys have a Hobby Lobby close. Mine's about 40 minutes away. Okay, I'm going to use my electric skillet. It's Gorilla Glue sticks, melted about 325 to 350. And we're just going to start adding it around the design. And I'll show it to you at a close-up once I get all these added in, because you may not be able to tell that big of a difference. On my stems, I just kind of pull them back, and it kind of will show you where the good spots are that you can cut it. And I try to get 3 or 4 cuts out of each piece. Okay, I'm going to show you one side versus the other. So there's the side that's a little bit fuller with the snow, and then here's the side. So you can kind of see through the different spots here where it's going to start filling it in with the added flocking. Somebody want to know if I ever burn myself with my glue? Yes, I do. I try not to, but it happens. I'm bringing some in kind of close to his cheeks to kind of fill that area in. And just a couple more pieces and we've got that done. I don't know what's worse, glitter or flocking. We're doing some fall family pictures later, so I knew I for sure wasn't going to do glitter today. Okay, look how pretty it looks, just like this, with the snow on the flocking on the evergreens, the 2 different types. You can see a little bit of your mesh kind of peeking through. You could add some bells, a few things, and call it done and leave this bow there if you wanted. Now we're not, but I just kind of like to show you different phases of what you could do with the snowman. Not everybody's budget's the same. Not everybody can afford the same type of designs, but everybody wants a pretty design. So see how cute that looks, just like that? Okay, but we're going to kind of go to the next phase here. We're going to add some peppermint. We're going to add some ribbon. Okay, so the ribbon, wait a minute, let me get this out of the way real quick. Okay, so here's the ribbon. Half of it came off. We're going to do this swirly, and it's got some shimmer and the white swirls, and then it's got that little snowy edging there. We're going to pop in some red and green stripe. We're going to do some candy cane. This came from Sam's. I believe both of these came from Craft Outlet, I'm pretty sure. And then the last one I know came from Craft Outlet because I just got it in. We're going to use the red and the greens with the peppermint and the stripes and everything else. Okay, we're going to put some ribbon up here, but we're going to make a bow and we're going to incorporate this one into ours, but you're not going to see nearly as much of this bow by the time we get done. I know it's going to make some of you mad, but I'm just giving you different ideas. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going to do a hand bow real quick. So I'm just making some loops, twisting it, and bringing it back up. So it just kind of looks like a little bow right there. And then we're going to bring in the 2.5 inch stripe. This ribbon, I'll be honest, isn't my favorite to work with because it's kind of like almost a paper-like look to it. Which I'm not going to use it. Okay, see how that's all crinkled? I'm going to cut that off. I'll use it for something else maybe later, but I don't want that crinkle in my design. It's kind of the same way when you get ribbon that they have taped it together. Makes you so mad, but it happens. So all I'm doing is the exact same thing. 2 loops, twisted, and just setting it one on top of the other. Nothing fancy. We're going to do some candy cane. And then we're going to incorporate some of this ribbon around the wreath. So I'm just making my tail, pinching it, layering in there. Oops. Making a loop, making a loop, pinching it, twisting it, bring it towards me. And I'm going to do a bow tutorial, so I know I'm going fast on this one, but we're going to play with some ribbon, I promise. And then our last one is our candy cane. I just made some custom bows with this candy cane ribbon. That's why I know it came from Craft Outlet, because I had to order some more of it in. Okay, so for my last loop, I'm just going to take it a loop like this, and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm just going to lay it across. And both tails are going to come on the same side, but I'm going to use that loop as my center. So I just took it and made a loop, and then I laid it across. So both of my streamers are just coming at an angle. And I'm going to zip tie. And we're going to attach it right in there. And see, it just kind of makes it a little bit more whimsical than the solid red. Okay, so now I'm going to see if I can get my pipe cleaner or my zip tie to go down there, and I may not be able to. feel like I'm doing surgery on this little guy. I'm poking the zip tie through the top of this brim. Because I don't want my bow to go anywhere. Okay. It was tough. But I'm going to bring it in so you can see it up close. So what I did is I took the ice pick and I went in and up through that fabric a little ways back and came out at the top. So I didn't actually take it through the snowman head, just the frame of it. I pulled it snug, but not super tight. And we'll fix all the tails here in a minute. So we just kind of livened up the old snowman there. And well, like I said, we'll dovetail those and play with the ribbon here in a minute. But I'm just going to do some other ribbon and kind of bring some down to the side. And then we'll add our candy real quick. Okay, I'm just going to take two ribbons, one on top of the other. I've dovetailed the end, and I'm just going to take some up here at the top. And I'm just using the pine ties on the wreath to attach the ribbon. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. After I cut this bad part of this ribbon off. It's almost like the ribbon got crinkled when it was being rolled up. Okay, so we've got some ribbon added on both sides. I try to bring it close so you guys can see it. So there's ribbon on that side, and then the ribbon we did on this side. So let's add some of our candy picks. I've just got some ornaments. I'm just going to pull those off. They come 3 on a stick from Hobby Lobby. Actually, these might have came from Michael's last year. And I'm just going to stick them on there first to make sure where I want them. And I'm just dipping them in my glue electric skillet. And sticking them in. These all came from Hobby Lobby. They come 2 in a set. And I'm going to use a couple of those. I'm going to hold that just for a second so that one dries. Now, if I could have, I actually would have taken this off and done my own bow, but it is so far attached in there, I can't get it off without ruining it. See, I would really like to have had that in there, but that's not going to work. And I'm just gluing some different candy. This is how they came. So really, any candy embellishments that you have, you can add at this point. I'm going to add a piece of candy to the top of his hat. And then I've got some other small ones like this. These are almost like, well, I don't know if I can cut these or not. I'm taking the ribbons off the bottom of these candy. And some of them I'm leaving them a little bit further out, and some of them I'm tucking kind of down in there. And if you wanted, you could leave the ribbons on. Okay, then I have some little marshmallows for our little, with some little like peppermint sticks on them. But I'm just going to put a few pieces in. I don't want just candy cane pop or lobster. I don't want all of these little popsicles in there the whole time. I want to add a little bit other things to the design. And just a couple more of those. And we're about done. Okay, let's fix our ribbon tails real quick. And I'm just dovetailing them at different lengths. That one did not cut. We're just going to curl these smaller ones. I'm going to bring the original red, kind of velvet velour-like, and kind of incorporate in the ribbons. I think I'm going to put one more up there at the top. I wanted a smaller white one, but I may not have a smaller white one. Okay, I think our snowman is done until I let him sit for a while. Then I'll come back and look at him again and might make some changes. See how fun and whimsical and Christmassy? If this doesn't get people in a Christmas spirit on your front porch, I don't know what will. And I love how the one ribbon brings out a little bit of the green because it's got green in the holly on his hat. And like I said, I may kind of doctor up that brim a little bit more after I kind of let it sit, but I don't want to tear it off. So Walmart flocked wreath. Santa head came from off Amazon. Just type in Santa hat or Santa head tree topper. And then all of the candy came from Hobby Lobby. And the ribbon, I believe, all came from craftoutlet.com. So I hope you guys enjoyed the snowman for day 2 of our 12 days of Christmas. And I will be back tomorrow with day 3. Have a great day and go outside and enjoy the day. It's beautiful here in Missouri. So go enjoy. Bye-bye. Thanks.